In mythology, that which has been called creation begins with duplicating by dividing. Darkness was divided from light, dry land as breathing place was divided from water. The north was divided from the south, and earth was divided from heaven, as in the Japanese creation. So the power of the two monsters, in the book of Enoch, became separated on the same day, one being in the depths of the sea and one in the desert, that is, one in the water, as Leviathan, the crocodile or dragon, and one as the hippopotamus on dry ground. Enoch asks the angel to show him the power of those monsters and how they became separated on the same day of creation, one in the depths of the sea, above the springs of waters, and one in the dry desert. It is said of the two monsters that they had been prepared by the people of God to become food. In this, there is a broken ray of the refracted mythos. The two monsters had represented food and drink from the first, one as the mother of life in the earth, the other in the waters. These two monsters were prepared for food in the garden or enclosure of the beginning. The name of one is Behemoth, the name of the other Leviathan. Behemoth is the Egyptian Behemoth, the female hippopotamus, and Leviathan answers to the crocodile or dragon of the deep. The rabbis repeated a true tradition when they rendered the biblical behemoth not as a plural of majesty, but as a pair of beasts. They were a pair of beasts in the mythology of Egypt. The female behemoth was the original Great Mother Kep, or Apt. The male was her son. The crocodile also, as zoo type, was both male and female. For his purpose, however, Enoch makes Leviathan a male monster and Behemoth female. Of course, the type is or may be differentiated by the sex. The two monsters in the Egyptian starry scheme are both female as two forms of the Great Mother, who was the hippopotamus in her forepart and the crocodile behind, or the crocodile in the south and the hippopotamus in the north. Thus the hippopotamus and crocodile, which were natural in the Nile, had become two huge indefinite monsters of legendary lore in the Book of Enoch, and the two survived as the types of dry and wet for land and water. The suggestion now to be made is that the two monsters of dry and wet, or earth and water, were constellated as the southern fish and Ketos, or the whale, but that the whale has been substituted for the hippopotamus by the Mesopotamians or the Greeks. The southern fish on the celestial globe is portrayed in the act of emaining a stream of water from its mouth, whereas the monster Ketos is depicted as the breather out of the water, the two being representative of the earth as the mother of life in the water called the abyss. In the Sut and Horus mythos, the first two children of the ancient mother represent the conditions of dry and wet. They were born twins because the conditions were coextant in earth and water. In the course of time, everything that was dry, desiccative, or of the desert was ascribed to Sut, whereas the products of water were assigned to Horus. Hence the two monsters were continued as types of the twins. The hippopotamus of earth as male was given to Sut. The crocodile of water was given to Horus to typify the fish as food of the inundation. The abyss of waters is described by Berosos as the habitat of most hideous beings, which had been produced by a twofold principle that was as yet undiscreted into wet and dry. The person who is said to have presided over them was a female named Omaraka. Then came Belos, and cut the woman asunder, and of one half formed the earth, and of the other half the heaven or firmament. This is a mode of discreting the twofold principle of the dry earth and the celestial water. The story told by Berosos is a later legendary form of the mythos. The duplication of the motherhood is the same, but with a change of type. The later woman has taken the place of the cow that was cut in two, divided, or made twain as the water cow of earth and the milk cow of heaven. Omaraka is the Great Mother, who was one as the representative of earth, and was then divided to become the representative of earth and water. The formation of earth and heaven out of the halves is identical with separating earth and water and distinguishing wet from dry.
Containing an attempt to recover and reconstitute the lost origins of the myths and mysteries types and symbols, religion and language, with Egypt for the mouthpiece, and Africa as the birthplace.